Hello everyone and welcome back to Run It Up number 100. Wow, that's incredible. 100 episodes of Run It Up, not even counting all those other crazy episodes. Man, it's been quite the run. We started back in July of last year. Who would have thunk we're still here 8 months later doing videos? Not me. Happy Valentine's Day as well. It's a wonderful day for events and such things. A lot to talk about today. I am very excited for today's show, feeling good. It's 7 in the morning. I've been awake for 8 hours. I'm all messed up. You could blame the jet lag, the trip back from New York. You could blame whatever you want, but I really don't have a good excuse, to be honest. It's like I wasn't feeling good, so I just slept whenever, and now it's all a mess. But here we are, feeling good. Hopefully we'll do some work here. We have two contenders in the Run It Up octagon today, so to speak. The mythical, legendary El Guapo, Run It Up warrior, actually met at a Run It Up at Red Rock tournament back in December, and then Vegas 7, who I have no idea about. That's it. We've been playing only for a little bit. You guys saw, I think, every hand except for maybe a couple. But yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully we will run it up, starting out here with a open-ended straight draw. That's kind of cool. Checks through very quickly, so I'm almost for sure going to bet on this turn here. Given that this guy had auto check on, it's fairly difficult for him to have very much. El Guapo could definitely be attacking here. You know, he could know that we're going to be betting here quite a lot, which is true because we are. He doesn't necessarily have to have nothing, though. He could definitely have something in play this way. All he did is check on the flop, so it's possible. I think we can just fold. I mean, I was considering calling and then doing things that are aggressive on, like, every draw completing card, so diamonds and things like that. But given that we have 4 high, I think folding is just fine. Yeah, but I think that could be... I mean, I don't think checking could possibly be right. He might be aware... Actually... Maybe we could have also argued for a 3-bet on the turn as well, like re-raising, you know, just because, yes, that is what 3-betting means. I just think that it's possible that yeah, that's right. He likely is aware of the fact that we are aware that this guy insta-checked, so that we'll be betting there pretty frequently. If he knows that we know that he knows that we know, we could arguably re-raise. The only problem is in that board, like, I feel very handcuffed by the fact that we really can't just have very much. Oh, we're going to get to see some cards here. Oh, bad river card there for our friend Mr. Guapo. Well played, though, all in all by him. I think the money went in, obviously, on the turn. I think flop went, like, bet, raise, call, something like that. Oh, put him right in the cage. Poor El Guapo. Did you? Oh, I forgot to mention that not only, of course, I thought about, having a guest on the show, and then I realized with my sleep schedule, plus the fact that we missed the last week from the break and everything, I didn't want to have our lovely 100th episode spoiled by any guest. So the only guest that will be joining me today is the one and only... That's right, Dr. Mundo. That's right. Thanks for joining us, sir. He goes where he pleases, 100 episode. He said, okay, I'm going to have to be there. I said, okay, join us. That's it. It actually says in the back of the shirt, I just realized this now. I've worn this shirt maybe like 6 times since I've got it, not that long ago. And it says in the back, I think it says either Mundo goes where he pleases or just goes where he pleases. I didn't even know. Extra value. I had no idea about. You're going to start here with a bet. I think $1.50 seems fine. Gonna win this pot fairly often. Our opponent agrees, thankfully. He's just feeling good over there, He's all dressed for the day at the golf course. He's got himself a nice little visor over there. His hair all flared up. Feeling good, He doesn't have time for our continuation bet nonsense. So, in addition to everything else that is going on today, I am excited to announce that I've finally managed to, I don't want to make it sound like it was any kind of accomplishment or an achievement, to be honest, because it isn't really, but I have decided to bring back the Dear JCarver emails. That's right. We haven't done any new ones in several weeks, and I have a bunch, ready, and I'm going to be doing new ones next week, and not only will there be new ones, but the there will be a much shorter turnaround from when you guys email me to when I see them. So if you guys have a question for me, you can email me, dearjcarver@gmail.com. Hands are okay, but not great. Any kind of question is totally fine, though. It's an open forum. Worst case scenario, I will just discard your email and roll my eyes at you. It's no big deal. Fire away. And, you can say, hey, I'm enjoying the videos, whatever. You have a question, don't have a question, whatever you want to do. Fire away. dearjcarver@gmail.com. And for all of you out there that hate the fact that I print them out, which, I've defended as, I could have, okay, whatever. So I understand that. So I've fixed several of my issues, both with the annoyance of printing out 100 emails every time and, the whole paper thing by, that's right, the official Run It Up. Can you guys see that? Probably not. It says Run It Up on the back, though. It's Run It Up official. I got it as a Christmas gift from a fan, actually. But that's right. So we have all the Dear JCarvers on the iPad. That is right. Environmentally safe, quicker to be read. Boy, it's a brand new day. 2014, amazing, wonderful things. So El Guapo raised, we re-raised. Here we are now on the flop. Going to start here with a bet. If El Guapo continues, we have some decisions to make. That is a pretty good turn card for us, all in all. I think we will bet something like 750, something like that. We can't check here, even though it's a scary turn card for him. We can't check here because if we check, we're kind of saying like, okay, we don't have nothing, right? Because if we had nothing, we would bet. So I feel pretty comfortable with the fact that we should probably be betting on that turn card. Also, the board is off by like $15. I realized that after I got started here, but it was too late. It was only a tiny loss anyway. We lost like, $14 in the last session, so pretty close to that. We're at about like $10.50 to start today. We've managed to run it down quite nicely in the last month or so. But we've been playing so high stakes. We've been playing like 1, 2, 50 cents, $1. We've been playing with no bankroll management. Don't try this at home, kids. It's a swingy thing, The swingier, the better. But we'll just consistently grind our way through, I think. I feel like I'm looking forward to the next month or so of Run It Up grinding. I think we'll be doing all right again in no time. Have some faith, kids, Gonna be re-raising here. Oh yeah, for sure. Let's see, what should make it? I think 4 is okay. I think 450 is also okay. Let's make it 4 1/4. Snap fold by El Guapo. Snap fold by 7 Vegas. Give me your $2. That's right. 2 1/4 right in our pocket. That's right. We're going to the bank. Happy Valentine's Day to us. That's right. That's right. Ballin'. Limped here with the king and the 4. I suppose we'll start with a bet. Don't believe he folds better hands than us, but I guess that we avoid making mistakes and things such as that. He could be bluffing us, but I think folding is fine. I mean, I don't really think that he could call and do something. I think you just say you got it. Enjoy the 50 cents. Enjoy the 50 cents, Mr. Guapo. Enjoy it. Spend it well. Spend it with your loved one on Valentine's Day if you're lucky enough to have one. Whatever. Enjoy the 50 cents. Don't spend it all in one place, though. We're going to be calling here, of course. He made it kind of big, actually. Not really sure why he made it as big as he did, but it doesn't really change our decision any with a hand as good as the one we have. Let's see a flop dollar. Pretty good flop for us, all in all. Could still have the best hand, and if not, we're just a queen away from definitely having the best hand. Ace or a jack would be fine as well. Let's see a turn card. The tricky spot is when the turn card is a brick, and then our opponent bets again. But, all right, so let's do some thinking here. I think we have a decision between folding and calling. I don't think anything else makes any sense. So I think we could arguably call. We are getting 3-1, and we have a pretty good hand in ace-jack. I think I'm actually going to call. Folding seems fine as well, but I think we have the best hand here often enough. And I also felt like there was a decent chance that he was going to just shut down if we did have the best hand after we call twice, because, I mean, there's not too many hands that we're going to call, fold on, and I think it has to be like, we have to have like queen jack or like ace jack, ace queen exactly for us to end up folding here, so I don't think we have the best hand at this point. He could be bluffing, but I feel like that would be kind of insane for him to have taken this line with a hand that is worse than ace jack. Re-raise pre-flop, then bet. all for half pot at the speed that he did. I'm folding on the river there pretty infrequently, all in all, so I think that's like one of the few hands that I do fold. I mean, not that makes a big difference in that spot, but I think that the closest decision is the turn, which we could have very arguably done something else besides continue on. But I mean, I guess we could have folded on the turn and felt okay about it, but I think that our hand is just so good. How do we fold ace jack there? Unless we're so sure that he's just like never light. If we were sure he's never light, and to be honest, I don't really remember how aggressive he is pre-flop. I don't think he's that aggressive pre-flop, but I think that it's fairly unlikely that we have the best hand on the river. I think that seems pretty obvious. But the turn is whether or not we burnt $8 that we could have actually held on to. But I don't think it's too bad of a peel given our actual hand. It's not like we're peeling with like, Jack 9, just like hoping that he stops betting and then we can bluff or something. But all right. Off to the flop here. Feels like that's a pretty good flop for us. Going to start with a bet. I think $2 seems fine. Could also bet like $1.75 or whatever, but I think 2 accomplishes fairly similar things. Okay. Decision here between checking and betting. I think betting accomplishes a little bit more what we want slightly, or maybe checking is better. I have a feeling that we have the best hand here, more likely than we do not have the best hand. Okay, let's check back, actually. I'm going to check back and pretty much call all rivers. I guess that is a bad river for us. Maybe that's the one we won't call on, even for 50 cents. I thought I had a lot of like ace highs and like 3 X's, that kind of hand, that sort of thing. I mean, we get bluffed by like the 3 4s and the 3 5s. I mean, I can't call. I have queens and 10s and the 6 kicker. I mean, maybe you bluffed me, but there's not too many hands that we're winning against, and I don't think raising makes a lot of sense. I almost always bet that turn card, but this one particular time I was like, all right, I'll just check back. He's not going to call twice. He's not going to call turn and river. So I was like, okay, I'll just check back and then, pretty much call on every river except for, I guess, exactly the queen. So he rivered the card that we didn't win the pot on. All right, so there's that. Let's read some Dear JCarver questions. Yes, that's right. A lot of Run Up Apprentice submissions in here, which you can also send to that same email. All right. I think. All right. I'll keep this anonymous because I'm not sure if you want this to be public or not. So I'll just keep this anonymous. Dear J Sizzle, literally the first time I've ever said that, and it'll be the last. Okay. I've recently tried taking an anti-anxiety medication strictly for poker purposes. Oh, brother. I don't even like taking Excedrin, but the idea was brought to me by a doctor friend of mine. What kind of doctor friend of yours is this? You're feeling stressed at the poker table? Here, take some drugs. I don't know how I feel about that, which I suppose is what you're probably going to ask me. So far, out of the 7 sessions I've played, I've had positive sessions 6 times. Well, I mean, 6 out of 7. How do you not keep doing it? That's a joke, by the way. Sample size is a beautiful thing. I guess we're folding here as well. Get put in the cage slightly there. But, I mean, the flop bet seems fine, and then obviously I guess we just say, okay. Could also raise the turn and begin that whole aggression path, but I don't really feel like that is very effective. I've felt like that has not been too effective in the past. So, the last time I used and lost it was at the cusp of the pill's half-life. The last time I used and lost, it was at the cusp of the pill's half-life, okay? I have felt more calm, but I felt more calm, focused, and my results have backed up my positive juju. Your results cannot really sample size enough. Playing 7 sessions and winning 6 of them is not really that crazy of an accomplishment. I'm not saying that it's like worthless or anything, but come on, you can't necessarily say that's true. I was curious. I have a psychology background, so I understand the mechanics of the drug and even the psychosemantic aspect, the placebo effect. I was curious how you felt about it, or if you've done anything similar or heard of anyone trying a mood-altering substance and having positive results. Well, all right, interesting question, interesting topic, a lot to talk about, I guess, about that. The first part of your question about how I feel about it, I mean, I don't know. I think that it's a slippery slope and you should be very careful. And, I am certainly not your parent. And so I'm not going to tell you what you should or shouldn't do. It's your own decisions. If you feel like it really helps you and makes you happy and you've done the research and it's not damaging you medically. And, if you've done all that part of it and you think that it's the right thing for you, then okay, then I guess, sure. But I am cautious. I'm very cautious about these sort of things, generally speaking, and how they impact you and what their long-term effects are. And what are you going to do? You're going to play poker for the next 3 years and take this every time for the next 3 years? I don't know, man. Is it really worth it? That seems kind of nuts. So this is actually a good river card for us. I don't think it's too likely that our opponent would have an ace and bet the turn. So, if he had an ace in his hand, I'm pretty sure he would check back turn most of the time. He wouldn't always if he had spades. And we also do lose to, real good hands, like 6x and 8s, pocket 8s and deuces, stuff like that. But I'm never folding here on this river. I think the ace actually energizes him to bluff often enough that we can't fold. Kind of unlucky. Obviously kind of unlucky that he turned trips, but I think that we weren't folding on most rivers anyway, I guess, but I think that one was just kind of particularly unlucky, but I don't think there's any way we can fold there. I can just reload like this now because all I have is running up money in Ultimate Poker. So look at that. That's nice at least. Perks, I suppose. Speaking of perks, I guess we're back on your email here. If I've ever done anything similar? No, I've never done anything like that. I used to, actually, of all the things that I've done competitively that I've felt anxiety over, I would say when I used to play StarCraft 1v1s, that was probably the most, consistent anxiety that I had about playing a thing. When I used to play StarCraft 1v1s and I got all the way to Diamond, which was relatively high back in the day, I felt a lot of anxiety about clicking that play button. I don't know what it was about it, but I really felt that RTS anxiety was what I did some research about. People have a lot of anxiety playing 1v1s in that situation and stuff like that. And I never really could quite figure out why I would feel no anxiety playing heads up for 50K, but I would feel anxiety playing a StarCraft match for, substantially less money. But, let's re-raise this, see how this works out for us. Haven't re-raised this guy yet so far. Worst case scenario, he calls pretty loosely, I think. And I actually kind of anticipate that he is going to do that. But that works out all right with us as long as he lets us win post-flop some percentage of the time. And I think he does. All right. Don't think we can bet this turn card. There's not really too many hands that we're going to re-raise and then have something here that's going to be pretty good. And even if we did, we'd probably check anyway. So I think the games are over. If it goes check and you river a pair or an 8, I would feel obviously good about the 8, but I would feel good about pairs as well. It looks like we're probably just check and folding here. And have I heard of anyone else trying something like that and having positive results? Well, I have plenty of friends that have either experimented or relatively consistently smoke or vape weed before they play sessions, and I've only done that once or twice maybe. I haven't done that very often, and I've never done it live. And I don't know. I feel like I can't see how that would help me, but I'm not closed-minded so much to say that I can't perceive how that could help others that feel the anxiety and kind of need that. Sometimes we could check raise this or check call, but I feel like momentum isn't on our side and it's on El Guapo's side, so I'm going to play a little bit tighter in this spot and just fold here. We're not folding that much away anyway, I don't think. We're folding, it's a little bit on the tight side of a fold, but I feel like we're going to probably just play a little bit tighter for the time being as we're not really connecting too much, and I feel like our opponents are kind of taking... I don't know. I feel like the momentum isn't on our side, so we're play a little bit tighter. It's not a big deal. It's just one of those adjustments that we can make. I think we will also check this. No reason to fight here. All right, so I think that's pretty much how I feel about it. Do your research. You know yourself better than I know you, most likely. And, I think you should just be careful and do research and consistently evaluate what you're doing, and all of that. A lot of 101s. We're playing small enough now that we can make it 101 every time we open. Look at that. All right, next email. Dear JCarver, can you speak Latin for us? I mean, if you sent me Latin, I could read it to you, but, off the top of my head, I don't have any, like, Latin to recite for you. No, I am afraid. I don't know if this has been asked, but I want to hear some. Sincerely, Life? Yes? You said it's spelled like leaf, but if you say long A. Life? Life. I'm sorry, I would usually just say life or leaf, but then you say long A, and I have a hard time fitting that in my head. But thanks for your email either way. From North Dakota. Oh yeah, North Dakota. I have a lot of friends from that area. What can I say? North Dakota. I don't know. I can do the oh yeah, North Dakota. All right. Boy, what an asshole I am. We're at number 100. You write me an email, I finally read it, and now I'm making fun of you. I can't say your name. I'm making fun of your state. Boy, you'll probably never write me an email again. I'm sorry. I'll work on my pronunciation before you write me another email. All right. Dear JCarver. Oh, I love the first sentence here. Dear JCarver, my question is Walking Dead related. Well, how do I not answer this question? I was wondering if you could be one of the characters in the series, who would you be? That's an interesting question. If I could be one character on Run It Up, yeah. If I could be a character on Run It Up, I'd be El Guapo, crushing it. If I could be a character on The Walking Dead, who would I be? Herschel, Maggie, Carl, Daryl, the governor. Oh yeah, I could be a. I don't think I could say the governor. What would that say about me as a person if I was like, man, no, that's leadership. I don't know. I feel like you'd want to pick someone young, someone sprightly. You're in a very dangerous environment, so I think you would need to do that. I mean, Michonne is obviously. I actually think that I might pick Michonne. How do you not? She's the best. She's like one of the best characters on television these days. I think that's a clear perhaps on that side. But I think Daryl is pretty sweet too. Obviously, I don't know. I don't think I have like a slam dunk answer. Like Michonne is definitely my favorite character on the show. How could she not be? I know people have things to say they don't like about. They don't like Rick. They don't like Carl. I have nothing against either of those characters. I feel like I don't know. I feel like they sometimes are like, obviously we talked about it before, but people in the Walking Dead universe don't make good decisions. Like the amount of analysis that goes into my mind when I'm like making a turkey burger doesn't seem to be applied to like life and death situations in the Walking Dead. And you just like wonder, like, what are these people thinking? Like, how would you not have like a system and a procedure to avoid exactly this disaster? Like, like you would think after you've lived for however many years or months, even whatever it is that in that universe, you would think that they would be pretty well versed in, zombie survival, but I suppose perhaps not. This is like not a hand that I like super love check raising, getting it in against, but we only have 80 big blinds, and I feel like that's fine. Otherwise, there are so many scary turn cards: ace, jack, queen, heart. I think we just have the best hand often enough, and we're going to get played back with often enough that we can just attack right then and there. Could you imagine if I said Maggie, though? I was like, well, to be honest with you, there's only one character that I would be. It's Maggie. That's right. I could have said Andrew. I guess it could be worse. Dear JCarver, what's the over and under on how many times you say in a video? Regards, Michael G. from New Zealand. Well, Michael G. from New Zealand, I don't think I do too many as like my speech, the silence keeper. My silence keeper that I use and I'm trying to fix is, it's true. That's the thing that I say the most. And when I rewatch videos and I have to listen to myself say, 80 times, it annoys me a lot. But I guess I did say there, but I don't think I think I'm much better at that. And I think I'm going to get better with that as time goes on. Silence is an okay thing. It doesn't have to be constant noise. Dear JCarver, I like how the subject of this email is Jay Carty, by the way. whatever that means. Hey, Jay Carty. Okay, sure. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck, or 30 duck-sized horses? I feel like we've been through this email before, or at least a similar question to it. And I think definitely 30 duck-sized horses is definitely the right answer. Dear JCarver, I watch your running up videos mainly not for the poker. Oh, you're already one of my favorite emails ever. I already am very happy with your email. I watch your videos mainly not for the poker, but for your zen-like attitude to life. Could you talk more about how you manage to be so happy, cheerful about everything? Thank you, Amir, by the way. P.S. You should definitely be cast for Rounders 2 if that myth ever comes to life. Well, I don't know about that, but thank you. I don't know. I don't know, honestly. I feel like I have a very optimistic perspective on a lot of things, and that just generally helps. I feel very appreciative of everything. I think that's another key element to being happy about everything, because, I mean, hey, at least it's not 1828 and I'm roving through the middle of the Great Plains on a carriage in the middle of the darkness, It could always be worse, I think. I just consistently remind myself of how lucky I am to do anything. From back the day back, I truly honestly do believe back in the days that I was sick. When I was sick when I was way younger, and I guess not way younger, but when I was sick with the colitis when I was 18, 19, and I was bedridden for 2 months, 1 year, and then 2 months the next year, and I was just so sick, and all I wanted to do was leave the house and walk and be outside and all of that. And I've really tried to kind of be always appreciative of the fact that I'm at least not sick, never mind that I'm doing anything else above and beyond that. And the fact that I've been able to do so much that has been so awesome, and that I've been able to go from sitting on the couch watching Daniel Negreanu to having him be a mentor of mine, and sitting on the couch watching UFC fights, to Dana White watching me make videos for them. Dana watched the pre-fight show that we did and gave me some feedback, which was awesome. I'm very blessed. I don't say that in a religious way, but I believe that is very true, that I've just been I've worked hard, but I've got so lucky in so many spots, and I'm just very appreciative of that. So I have I've talked about it in poker a bunch, but I think that one of the things that a lot of poker players do wrong is that they enter into a poker session with a sense of entitlement, or more specifically, they throw around the word deserve. Even if they don't actually say it, they feel it. I deserve to win. I get in with aces, I deserve to win. And when it doesn't work out in their favor, they're upset because they feel robbed of something. They deserve to win this hand with aces, or they played this hand so well, but they didn't win. They deserve to win it. And in truth, in my opinion, no one deserves anything. There are those that are lucky to have it. There are those that work hard to get it. And then there are those that are just, that just happen to stumble upon certain successes, and there are those that are unlucky that should have something but don't, I mean, there is really no inherent fairness to the world, in my opinion, or anything like that. And I feel like the whole approaching life with the perspective of deserving to do anything is just incorrect, in my opinion, and not the best way to do it. And I guess it's funny because that was all kind of a little bit more sour, but it ends up, I think, having an ultimately positive effect on me, because I don't feel like I'm entitled to anything. When I think that comes through in meeting those of you that I've met, some of you guys have been in Jersey, some of you guys were oh, you're so down to earth, and I'm what else would I be? We're just people. I don't know. I've tried to stay. I've really tried to stay grounded. I've really tried to stay humble, and I've really tried to always feel like I never deserve anything, and that if you want something, you have to work for it, you have to earn it, you have to put in the time, and you still have to get lucky on top of that. And the fact is, I've gotten that has happened for me in so many times, in so many ways, in so many places, that anything at this point is just gravy. Like, I could just go sit in a cabin for the rest of my life at this point, and I would be very content with that. You just give me a nice little iPad, plenty of stuff to read. I'd be a happy camper off in a cabin somewhere. I don't know. I don't know. I guess that's just it. Great question, by the way. Thank you for your email, sir. Okay. Okay. Nope. These are not Dear JCarvers. These are disguised Dear JCarvers. These are Dear JCarvers that are asking me for things. This is not the right email inbox for asking me for things, by the way, as any of you that have wanted responses could attest to. Dear JCarver, I recently ran deep in a tournament, and we decided to make a deal three-handed. We struggled on how to chop it up in a way where we would leave additional money for first place. Any tips on the best way to make these types of deals? Regards from Sam in the UK. Well, thanks, Sam. Well, I would tell you this. I don't know like exactly off the top of my head, but if you Google like ICM chip chop or like ICM poker deals or anything like that, there should be like a calculator where you can put in the prize pool, how you want to have it, or you put in the chip counts and the prize pools, and it should tell you what each person should get, and that at least will give you like a good groundwork for negotiation. It's not exactly right, but it's at least the groundwork for a good negotiation. So that's where I would tell you to start off with, and I would just take out, like, let's say there's $3K left in the prize pool, and you guys want to play for $1K for the winner or whatever. Then you just pull out that $1K and you chop out the last $2K, and you put the like $2K is the prize pool remaining, and then that'll just go from there. So that's my suggestion, all in all. Okay, next one. Oh, that is a lot of words and big sentence. one big paragraph. All right, next. Oh, from an email address from Cougar Radar. Okay, whatever that means. Dear JCarver, I have hand history. I'm sorry, I not doing hand histories in this moment today. You could be the apprentice though. It's possible. If you want to be the next run-up apprentice, by the way, I'm reviewing fan hand histories in mass. If you want to be the next run-up apprentice, you can email me also, dearjcarver@gmail.com. Hand histories or videos of yourself playing on Ultimate Poker in New Jersey or Nevada, both acceptable. I don't think I have any other decision on the flop or the turn. I guess we fold now. I mean, he must have like a flush or straight or something, but I'm certainly not going to click call here. Could have the best hand, obviously, but against a guy I've never seen before, even if his name is Asian 123, I think I will be believing him. Oh, boats and hoes. Must be a good email. Boats and hoes is the subject. Dear JCarver. Dear JCarver, I was watching WCS North America this evening because I too am a nerd. That's right. Shout outs, all my fellow nerds out there. If you watch this show very often, you're at least slightly nerdy, I think. You have to be to embrace it. Do you not see in my quote-unquote office do you not see the link on a statue riding strong over there? Dante, the Big Daddy down there. I don't know. Clearly, I'd say gaming and science fiction and fantasy things have like governed my world and dominated my creative inspiration since I was a kid. So, anyway, so I was watching this WCS North America, and Greytorp name dropped "Run It Up." Yes, that is correct. Andre, my friend, who now actually works with me for Run It Up stuff as a producer and such things, used to be a professional StarCraft player, became a caster, started casting a bunch of other stuff, and he went back to do a show a couple weeks ago, I guess, and I guess he promoted Run It Up. That's it. Greytorp is the best. He's one of the most logical thinkers I've ever met. He actually, if there was going to be a person that you could point to and say, this is the person that is responsible for Jason taking. I don't know who's talking in this sentence, but if you were going to say, Jason, who is the one person that is responsible for you getting into casting, it would be Andre. Because when I first met Andre through a StarCraft project that I was doing at the time, when I first met Andre, he was like just getting into casting and was talked to me about it in a perspective that I had never really thought of it before. He had a very like analytical mindset and approach to it, in that he studied this and he just broke it down in a way that really kind of made sense to me. And we just like connected very quickly and had these like great long theoretical, hypothetical conversations, and he was just great, like always, Andre has been one of my best friends for years, and just been always like, always there, always ready to talk, always ready to debate, but in a good way, not in like a Dan O'Brien way, in a good way. I don't know. He is awesome, and I'm really glad that he started to help us out here and run it up. We're going to have him on the show. I'm going to have him do a hangout with us either next week or something like that, so you guys can meet him and kind of see a little bit for him, and maybe we'll take questions. We'll take questions for Greytorp on that show. That could be pretty awesome. So thanks for your email. I don't know what the PS is for ducks fly together. Sure, I believe you. Okay. Lot of apprentice emails. Oh. Dear JCarver, greetings from Germany. Ah, the Germans. Hello. You're probably just feeling a little unloved. I did a Swedish video. You're like, come on. The Swedish video people, come on. Pick a German. The Germans are too good. I can't train the Germans. You're already winning all the money across the universe. If I start training Germans, there'll be no money left for the rest of us, okay? Let's just be real. Anyway, back to your email. Greetings from Germany. Ah. Germany. I say you say press the bell once. You must be a fan of Mr. Ferguson as well. That is correct. I am too. Did you see The Wolf of Wall Street? I did not. I would like to. It's on my list of things to watch, but I have not seen it yet. What did you think of it? Well, I don't know. And did you ever live through a period like that during the time you made tons of money? From Mark. Well, I haven't seen the movie, so I can't say for sure, because I don't know what you're exactly referring to, but I've heard enough about it that I at least have kind of a clue. I'll be in knit and fold this. Sure. Did I ever live through a period like that during the time I made tons of money? I never had lived at the period where I was like super, super spendy. I mean, a lot of the ways that I spent money was like on businesses, on peace buying. Like I put the money into like poker things. Like I didn't go and buy like, anything crazy or ridiculous or party or anything like that. I've never partied in my life. I don't think I've partied one time in my entire life. I almost think that's actually not even a joke. Like, I think that's like not possibly true. But yeah, I never like spent money in like a silly way. I gambled money in very silly ways, but I never like just blew money in weird things like that. So I'm planning on not folding. We beat a bunch of straight draws, flush draws, worse pairs that are trying to bluff for reasons that they're not sure about, etc. Let's see a river card, please. Okay, not the best of the river cards, but I suppose we will start with a check. I don't think if we bet we're going to get him to fold a substantially better hand than ours. Like, yeah, maybe he'd fold 10-9. Maybe he'd fold a hand even if it was like ace-9. But I'd find it hard to imagine he would fold a queen to us. He could always just put us on 10-jack and then, whatever. Okay, very tight check from him. If we were going to play with this guy for a while, I would definitely write that down that he checked that back, because that is information for sure. If he's checking back that, then, that means if he's betting, he's either bluffing or he is way stronger or stronger than that, which is pretty hard to have. Dear JCarver. Oops. Nope. Sorry. Can't answer that one. Oh, okay, sure. Dear JCarver, short version. Back in the days grinding online, did you ever once have the feeling, this shit is so rigged, this can't be happening? Meaning constant big hands clashing, etc., etc. My answer is no. No. It's not. The human mind is so incapable of perceiving anything. Show me a database of 5 million hands that are skewed one way or another, and then I'll begin to believe you. Especially if you're playing on any of the major reputable sites. Come on. Like, that's just, it's just not real. It's just not a true thing. And the long version, you have nice words, thank you, you're very kind, etc., etc. I have a Swedish tongue twister for you. Oh, well then, more Swedish. Yes, sure, let's do it. Oh, all right. So you have here sex lexar I in laxax laxask. I'm sure I nailed it. Nailed it. Translation: 6 salmons in a salmon box. Well then, thank you. From a true Swedish, not a super whiz kid, run it up warrior, Magnus. Oh, well, if you had told me your name was Magnus at the beginning, I would have known you were from Sweden. You would have had no need for the rest of it. All right. Questionable question. Ooh, well, isn't that feisty sounding already? Questionable question. This may be a bit too personal. I don't know. Well, there's only one way to know, and that's to ask, which looks like what you've done to me. You have talked quite a bit about your mother, besides the random comment of "you're not my dad." I don't believe you've mentioned your father. Is he still in your life, and are they still together? # nosy people. Well, yes, they are still together somehow, some way. 30 years or just about. As crazy as that is to imagine. And yeah, my dad is great. I would go so far as to say that almost every good quality that I have is thanks to my dad. He is the diplomat, the mayor, not obviously really, but like, he is the, I guess we just fold. He's going to put so much pressure on us. We're going to get ourselves in weird situations, club or not club. We're still not sure if we're at the best hand or not. I think we just let that one go. But yeah, he is great. He's like very detail oriented, super hardworking guy. He's been working for however many years he's been working for, and I would guess to you that he has worked 6 days a week for almost the entire time of that. And it's not like he's sitting back and relaxing on Sunday either. Super hardworking, very kind, always like thinking of others, quick to help when needed. I mean, he is like I said, I truly do believe almost every good quality that I have. And if I was more like my dad, I would be even a better person. Like I'd be actually like way better person, I think. But yeah, I can only do, I guess, so much. But yeah, he's great and all of that. I got to see him 4 times while I was back on the East Coast, which was really nice. Dear JCarver, who is top 3 MMA fighters of all time? And what do you think about Fedor? Well, thanks for running up. Thank you for running. Thank you for watching the videos, sir. Unsigned. Unsigned, but looks like you're Russian, though. That's right. So, my top 3 MMA fighters of all time. If we're talking about, like, capabilities, not like my 3 favorites, just like the 3 most accomplished or talented fighters of their era. Okay, well, I think I'm going to say Anderson. I think that's an easy one. I think Fedor definitely counts. Definitely counts up there. That 3rd spot, though, I mean, Georges St-Pierre, I would got to say, he's got to be up there. Like, he fought such good competition for so many years, and did it with such an amazing amount of, like, technique and precision. If you're an MMA fan, the other day, I tweeted a link to a breakdown of Ronda Sarah McMahon that I thought was really interesting. And on that same site, it's done by these guys called BJJ Scout. On that same site, on the same YouTube channel, they also had a breakdown of Georges St-Pierre versus Johnny Hendricks. And when you watch that, they kind of broke down like what makes Georges St-Pierre's takedown so good, what makes Georges St-Pierre such a monster, generally speaking. And I've trained martial arts, but never on any kind of high level, and not as an adult. And so watching watching them break it down and showing like, this is what George St. Pierre does good. His toes are up in this position. And this way that he underhooks is really good because this and whatever. And it kind of opened my eyes as I watched a bunch of their videos. It kind of opened my eyes to just how good George St. Pierre is. And, the fact that he has fought so many great guys and was able to pretty much neutralize so many of them at what they are best at. It's very strong. Very strong, all in all. Very strong, all in all. All right, one last email. Hey, Jay. Man, I've been following you for a while now. They used to scare me when people would say that. These days, thank you. On Twitter, Facebook, and more than ever on YouTube. Thank you. Appreciate that. You're fun to watch, and thank you. All these nice words. Oh, you're just saying thank you. Well, thank you. You're welcome. I appreciate all your kind words. Hopefully you're watching rep number 100 and all of that. Nyron? Interesting name. Nyron? Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Appreciate that a lot, actually. Okay. I think that's probably it. Oh, the good old running up warrior Josh has arrived. Doc August over there. It's a running up party up in here. It's a running up reunion for running up number 100. That's right. Unfortunately, it's not a reunion for our money, but whatever. It happens. We lost like a little less than a buy-in, I think, all in all. We started with like 1,050 and 55 or something like that, and we reloaded for 30, and we lost the 15 here. So we lost like $45 this session, but I don't think we had like any hand where we really had any chance to like accumulate money. Like I don't think we ever really had a spot we could have like earned too often, and I feel like we just had spots where we're just like, all right. See you later, money. Should we try to make some loose? I mean, the $8 that we gave to El Guapo was probably with the ace jack. That was probably the closest decision that we had, and I don't even really hate that, but I think that was the closest decision and maybe the worst decision that we made this video. All right, so I have kind of a thing to say. So there's so we didn't run it up today, and yeah, that's sad and everything, and all that, but it's really rather insignificant to me in the face of how much other things are going on and everything. And I wanted to say to you guys that we've been doing this now for 8 months, and it's been awesome. It's been incredibly awesome and an amazing ride, and I really want to thank you. If you've watched one video or every video, well, I guess I want to thank you more if you've watched every single one. But if you've even just watched one, thank you. I really do appreciate it. It means a lot to me, and your support has allowed me to do so many things, and it's just opened so many doors and made me think and believe in myself in so many different ways, and it's been awesome. Absolutely incredibly awesome. But the thing that I want to talk about is that today is Valentine's Day, and it doesn't mean really very much to me for the many reasons, but 2 years ago, to the day today, I officially came out and I wrote that blog that changed my life forever. And when I did that, it was a day of excitement for me, that I knew I was going to post it. I'd been writing the thing for like 6 weeks, so I knew I was going to post it that day. I was ready. I was excited. I knew I was ready because I was excited. And right before I posted it, I looked over at my boyfriend and I was like, "You sure I'm gay, right?" And he said, "Yeah, pretty sure." And so I said, "Okay," and I hit post. And then I went out to dinner, and before I even got to the restaurant, I had already started getting texts from people that were all great and supportive. And over the last 2 years, I have been able to take this amazing journey from this kid who was like relatively repressed. I mean, I would even go so far as to say like extremely repressed in some ways. I put myself in the cage in such an awful way that I kind of convinced myself that I was only like minimally like restricting myself. That's like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's, whatever. I convinced myself that I would one day find a girl and be happy enough, and that would be fine. And why make everybody all stressed and dramatic? And even when I realized that wouldn't be true, or at least wasn't likely to be true, I was like, oh, I'll just do it later, or put it, all the excuses and everything that I kind of like battled with for all those years, I kind of just eventually slowly was able to like unravel. And when I came out 2 years ago, I wrote a line that I didn't plan on being much different than I was when I wrote the blog, but turns out I wasn't really right about that. And I have changed quite a lot in the last 2 years, as I feel like at this point that my life kind of only really truly began a couple of years ago. And these days I just, it's very easy to do a YouTube show where I talk to myself, make jokes, make silly voices. It's normal. It's very normal. It's not really that normal, but it's very easy to do that when you carry around a secret for as long as I carried it around, especially one as burdensome as it was, and share that secret with the universe and have the universe come back and say, that's all right. That's okay with us. That's no big deal. And that's what the universe said, some of you included in that universe. And those of you that have been around for a while know what my videos were like back then. And my personality was a lot like that too. I was much more defensive. I was more bitter and sarcastic and not really as optimistic, or I wasn't really myself, and I had never really been able to like really even explore, because I had built up so many obstacles in my own mind and in my personality, and trying to fit into the mold of what other people wanted me to be. And when we started this show 8 months ago, I had definitely already began the process of kind of like really coming into my own. But I kind of really think that doing a show like this that has kind of given me a canvas to just be myself and try different things, and to just like, let's do this thing today. Let's put on a leprechaun sheriff outfit and let's ring the fucking big bell, and I don't know. I just have loved Run It Up as an outlet for the creativity and all the fun that we've had on Run It Up, and all the jokes and all of those things. It all stems from coming out 2 years ago. And so it kind of worked out very well again that the coincidence kind of like locked up that Run It Up number 100 and Valentine's Day kind of synced up rather nicely. So it's like a double occasion here for me today. And I, for both being a supporter of Run It Up, a supporter of me, and, all of that, all of your love and support and kindness and kind words, whether or not I've responded to you, and I wanted to, I promise, whether or not I've responded to you, I really, truly, truly do appreciate it. And all of you that sent me supportive messages, and, just keep making videos and keep, go get them, Slugger, all those things, they really do make a difference. And I encourage you to not just say those things to me, but to other people around you as well, because who knows what your encouragement might mean to people, and what an impact you might make on their life with such very small sorts of gestures of support. Anyway, thanks again, guys. I really do appreciate it. I'm going to do my best to run it up for you guys in the next few weeks. I know the boat's been a little shaky, but that's all right. I'm back. I'm going to stop drinking. We're going to get our hands on the wheel, 2 hands on the wheel, 10 and 2, We're going to do some work. Hopefully we'll run it up. But if not, we'll be here doing videos either way. Really appreciate you guys. Thanks for hanging out with me. I will see you back for more very soon. Sooner than you might think. Peace.